Hello, everyone. It's Conversations in Crete with Chelsea, Sweet Mama G. Our topic today is, do we need to bring religion back in marriage? And this here is Chelsea's topic. You wanted to bring it on? That's what the song is called.
I wanted to just speak a little bit about it. I openly speak about my faith. I openly speak about what I believe in, and I think it's an important asset to our marriage and all of that. So it can be a spicy topic, as a lot of people refrain from having those conversations, but I speak openly about my faith and what I believe. So I'm excited. I'm excited to hear y'all's perspectives and our listeners' perspectives as well.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough. And I'm sure I can have something to say to this, of
I'm
course.
sure.
And I'm sure Sweet Mama G going to step in on some things here. And the topic, I'm twisty, meaning that we may be talking about this, but it's always something that's going to creep in and it might twist it to something else, because this is the Conversations and Crete podcast with the other hosts, Sweet Mama G and Chelsea. And y'all know how we do it. All right. Now,
No.
okay. So if you are in the comment section, make sure that y'all come in and shout us out, shout yourself out. Make sure you comment, because that way we can see you. All right. Now, and I'll be moving that banner here in a second. But this is a very sticky topic, and I'm sure it's going to be some ears that need to hear this, and hopefully it can help what they're going through in their marriage today, because marriage is very challenging. It can be very loving and enjoyable with the right partner, and even sometimes without the right partner, I'm sure you can have some type of enjoying times, if y'all know what I mean. So, y'all can still hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, anyway, Chelsea, you want to start it off? You want to kick it off here?
Yeah. I got a simple question for you guys and everyone out there listening. Is it a requirement for somebody to have a belief system of some sort, said higher power, God, universe, Jesus Christ, whatever in that say realm? Is it a requirement for you when you go out dating for a partner? Sweet Mama, is it a requirement for you?
Okay, so let's start off with our mental health check.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
I'm sorry, Sweet
This is
Mama.
a
My bad. Go ahead.
tricky topic, and we want to make sure we are honoring people and
Absolutely.
their feelings. So, from 1 through 5, 5 being your most fabulousness, and 1, you need self care and improvement on yourself for mental health. Make sure you go into our live chat, place your number, let us know how you're feeling. You're also welcome to comment at any time and ask questions as well in the chat, so we can definitely respond. So, we're starting off with Miss Chelsea. What's your rating for your mental health, Miss Chelsea?
Mental health is honestly at a 5 right now. Like, I mean, it's so good. I'm just thanking God, and I'm just so blessed, truly. I know I say that every time, but I count my blessings.
All right, Crete with the lineup. What's going on?
It's gotta be the lineup.
Yeah, your
Well,
lineup is matching your shirt.
oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Um, I'm at a 5 again. When you put yourself in a positive place, even when things may not be all where you want it to be, you bring on that positive spirit just through the mouth. It's like an affirmation. So myself is a 5 right now. You see what I'm saying? So thank you,
So
Cuzzy.
good job. Make sure everyone continue to put their self check 1 through 5, 5 being your highest. 1, you need self improvement and self care. All right.
Okay.
So you can also
Now,
What are
call
you
in.
at?
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
What are you
Cuzzy.
at, Sweet
I'm at a
Mama?
3. I'm at a 3. Usually I'm a
Okay.
5. I'm extremely,
Thank you for your
extremely,
honesty.
I'm extremely tired. We're gonna keep it moving. So we definitely want. Hey, Bayliner. Bayliner, she's at a 5. Hey, darling. Make sure you like, click, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Bayliner, did a notification come up tonight for you? Let us know. YouTube is always in the process of, I guess, changing things, and hopefully they're gonna be a 5 and do self-improvement. So thank you, everyone. Continue to put in your self-check for tonight. So the topic is, Miss Chelsea.
Should religion be brought back into marriage?
Hmm.
Now, so that was your question though in the beginning, right? And you asked
That
Sweet
was my question to Sweet Mama was: is it a requirement when she is dating that her partner have some sort of belief system or not?
I believe people should have some type of higher power, spiritual grounding. A lot of things is based on energy. We grew up in a religious family background, believing that you should go to church on Sundays, you worked. So I grew up in religious, went to Catholic school, things like that. So I can read the doctrine, tell you different things. Had ministers for grandparents on my dad's side. My dad later became a minister, a pastor. So I have a kind of not necessarily the doctrine of the church per se, but a spiritual. I'm about the energy. I've been through, different churches and things, but I'm going to continue to let it roll because y'all know I always have a funny story, but we're going to keep that for a little later down the road about the church, the good Lord house.
Okay.
Well, I think that's a great answer. And that's how I start. That's what I was, higher power, some kind of belief system, that there is something greater than us that had some play in our existence.
And I think it has to be a positive play, not a negative. Because people
no, correct. You're right.
Powers, but it's not a positive. It could be positive in their mind, but not mine. It has to kind of match up. You can't be doing one thing and I'm doing something else. So I think you're supposed to be equally yoked. A lot of times we aren't. We've taken religion out of schools. When religions have been taken out of school and you can't say certain things, that's what you get. You get a whole lot of different things, a lot of relationships that are now wide open and want to be respected. But, we talk about, they need to bring God back in the church. Well, you need to bring God or religion back into the families. If it's not in the house, you can't bring it back into the schools. I'm not a pastor. So.
Yeah.
I agree with that, guys. Definitely our creator. He has that Bible there that actually tells us what we need to do in life. But unfortunately, nowadays people want to do it their own way. And then we have a lot of people now that that just make up stuff. Really, they just make it up, and a lot of these marriages now and relationships are just broken. Shout out! I know you shouted out Bayliner. Thank you, Bayliner, for coming up. Weekly supporter, and Me D coming in the building saying good evening. Good evening, Me D. We appreciate you, weekly supporter, coming through. But so a lot of people are misled when it comes to like marriage these days. You got to think, a lot of people are not even taking the Bible into consideration when it comes to marriage. They think, marriage is what they see on TV. And that's not the way. You can find some good parts of things that you see on TV that will be good to add in your marriage, but you got to remember, you're looking at television. Most people you see on television are actors. Even in reality shows, they are actors. So you have to reach out to the Bible and find out what the Bible says for you to do And sometimes in the Bible, it doesn't tell you entail, but you also have to use common sense. And then they have books that could actually help you through your marriage. Okay.
There's lots of resources out there.
I think people put the socialization piece in versus the religious piece. We have so many people that they have taken their heightened level of sexuality even higher. Ain't have nothing to do with the Bible. Everybody is trying to explore different sexual paths, trying to do different things. They're not saying, "Oh, well, let me read the book," because if we read the Bible, it's a lot of relationships that should not be occurring in today's society, but there are those relationships. So people just doing
Can you
how
give
they
us
feel.
can you give us one relationship or style of a relationship that doesn't fit?
Same-sex marriages,
Very true, cousin.
relationships. That wasn't the premise of the Bible per se, but
Right.
people have been known to be in same-sex relationships. So, and
Right.
then different denominations and different doctrines. So everybody's listening. How I feel, I'm living my life
Mhm.
how I feel. It has nothing to do with the book. How I feel. I want to be with a man. I want to be the woman. I want to be with everybody. This is how I feel. They haven't brought nothing about religion. Everything is on the secular level nowadays, the socialization level. Nothing about a religious model in there.
Right. Chelsea, can you read Bayliner's comment?
Yeah, it says people say every day, I didn't get a manual for this, but we do have a manual. It's the Bible. And
Absolutely.
that's exactly right for me. That's how I've interpreted it. So I agree with what you had said, Sweet Mama, a lot, because I was very much on that same-sex marriage. I was very much with women, and it was very much self-serving. It was 100% what I wanted. This was what I thought my plan was, and by God, I was doing it. And when life shook me and rocked me, and I went back to my roots, right? I went back to what I knew, which was God, which was my relationship with Jesus Christ. Then it shook me and made me realize that that's not what was right for me. What was right for me was God's will, and God's will was for me to be with my husband and who I'm with now. So I do agree with that, and not for everyone's situation, but for mine personally, I do relate to that. And I went to Catholic school for 10 years from 4 to 14. And yeah, what are you chuckling over there for?
I went to Catholic
It
school.
was
Like, ooh, those uniforms. I'm tired.
the uniform, all of it. I mean, it was a
Yeah,
lot. I mean, in 8th grade,
religion.
I thought I was in jail. Like, get me out. I got out of there and went into public school,
That's
and
what happened to me. Yeah, high school, public high school.
high school public, and it was like game on like Donkey Kong. I was like, real world, what the heck?
Mhm.
So yeah, I relate a lot with that, and it's crazy because of that, I completely surrendered and 100% gave it over to God. And I have the best marriage and the best relationship with my husband. And I never could have even dreamed up. Like I was on a completely different trajectory. But sometimes it takes God putting you in that mason jar, shaking you up and throwing you back down and saying, you got to figure it back out and have a different perception and go back to the basics. So
Right.
And I
Now,
think
a lot
if
of times it's like this. Go ahead. What you say, cousin?
oh no, I was going to say, I think had I not come from a Christian household, I probably would have not gotten married as young as I did, or married the person that I
yeah,
married, because I was
yeah,
kind of pressured from being in a
I could see.
Christian household. I didn't, because I had a baby. It was like, oh well, now you need to get married, and I wasn't prepared. He wasn't
Okay.
prepared, and we did it completely wrong, and it
Yeah.
ended up in a hot hand biscuit mess. Um,
Mm,
because we didn't have that guidance. He was not
yeah.
um Christian or religious. He believed in God, but he didn't attend church. He didn't have a stable home. My mom, my grandmother, great grandmother, My mother was third generation. I was fourth generation. My son was fifth generation at a particular church.
Gotcha.
And that's all they knew. They went to church on Sundays. They went to church on Sundays, no matter what, because that was a structure of them coming from the South. But had I not had a Christian mother who kind of pushed, oh, y'all need to get married, y'all raising this boy, I didn't want to get married. But to hear your mother, oh, you know, it's a sin and da-da-da. No, I probably wouldn't. And that's why, like, oh, well, you're not married. I'm like, okay, I don't have to be married to be happy. Everybody's trying to throw marriage, you got to marry. Shit, you might want to dirt bike one time and don't dirt bike the next time. I'm not gonna die if I never get married again. But they was like trying to push everybody into marriage because that's what the Bible like. Listen, people can be single and be happier than in marriage. It's all in who you are and what you want to do.
Okay. No, I don't disagree with that either. Go ahead.
Shout out to Simply 10 Art coming up in the conversation. We appreciate you coming through. Okay, well, check this out.
Check it.
Give you a gist of this. All right. So let's say getting married is a lot like starting a career or entering a university degree program. It's relatively easy to begin, but is almost guaranteed to be a challenge to stay with for a long term if neglected. And the worst catastrophe would be that you stop trying. In my work as marriage and family minister, I have seen a lot of marital relationships discord, having gone through a divorce myself, being married for over 30 years. To my wife, I can attest to the challenges of marital relationships and what it takes to restore a marriage. Now, if given right now, like if you asked me what I would have did or what would I do if or put it like this, what mistakes that I made, I would have no problem telling that. Would put it like this. I can be accountable for me. And I also know what else I would do to have, to work on that at that time. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of us don't recognize that when we are actually married. We just go with the flow and sometimes never reach out to fix things. You understand what I mean? So
yeah,
it's marriage is rough, but it's also beautiful. And that's why when you get in, you have to be sort of dedicated, and you're going to have to keep pushing at it, because if you want it, that's the only way it's going to work.
I think it's also important, though, to set up and talk about setting up the foundation of that, because, like, for example, just to use Sweet Mama's example on being pressured and getting into the marriage early and doing all of that. I mean, like, you have to be prepared. You have to set up a good foundation for that, because if you don't set it up in the beginning, it's going to be so hard when all that resentment and everything's now built between the two people to come at it and to heal it and fix it. But if we come into it a little bit more prepared and having faith, in my eyes, in my opinion, as a priority, and knowing your own faith individually in your spirituality, then coming into that person and bringing that person into your life and accentuating it is important. So with that foundation, if you don't have that, it's going to make it difficult in the end.
Right. I think in my son, he'll be 30. I think I would not have gotten married in my 20s.
Yeah.
The maturation level of a man and a woman are definitely different as far as maturity. My husband was 2 years older than I was. Not that he wasn't mature, but he wasn't ready. He wasn't prepared. He only saw very few marriages. Yeah. I think because you change in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, I didn't explore enough. I didn't do a lot of things I wanted to do. I wasn't well
Yeah.
traveled. I wasn't well experienced outside. I went from my
Mhm.
parents' home to this man's home. I never
Yeah.
got an opportunity to live by myself or to explore some different things.
Yeah.
Which, not that I yearned for that when I was married, because I didn't know anything about it. But once I got out of that marriage, hey, I earned the name Sweet Mama out here in the world.
You saying after the
After I
marriage was
got
over?
out, I got
Huh?
the name Sweet Mama. Hey.
I love it.
So,
So,
in
meeting
other
him as
words,
a
you was off
teenager,
the chain.
I was
Bruh.
exploratory. So being with somebody from my age of 17 to 34, that was like half my life.
Mhm.
So from my
Yeah.
teen years to my 20s to my mid 30s, that's all I've known that person. So you kind of grow different if you're growing professionally different. If your views of how you raise families are different. What a man is supposed to be a leader in a household is different. What's the
Mhm.
roles are different. And as they go
Mhm.
along, they still playing video games, but you trying to get them structured, be a man of a leader and stop playing around, get this money. It does make a difference. Because if I got to get
Mhm.
out here and work an extra job to help take care of our son extra needs, but you playing video games and you watching pornography and jerking off, that's not going to work for me. Then you wonder why I'm outside the house because you're not stepping up as a man. Now, I do agree with my
Yeah.
cousin with that. If I got to get out here and hustle, you're not stepping up as a man, it's going to be a problem. And then when I'm either too tired or I'm feeling like, hey, I'm bossy, but it's your fault. It's your fault. Your leisurely time, the way you should be doing extra things to be the leader to get the money, you playing games. This is not a game. You're a father, a leader in the household. You shouldn't be on the same level with the child playing games. And that was the issue. That was one of the issues. Let's say that.
No, that's a very true situation, and unfortunately, these days that now with gaming being so big,
Mm-hmm.
it will be easy to run into a guy and he's like that. What you do is just stay out of Micro Center trying to find a man.
No, because they men that can fix my little computers and stuff. But
Oh,
even the men, it's like, I had to tell somebody I was dealing with, you play with the game more than me. And I'm like, come on. It's like I won't say you're too old, you're never too old. And I like arcades, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, if we're trying to build, we're building for maturity level. We're trying to be spiritual, we're
Yeah.
trying to have our connected energies, we're trying to build something. We can't do that if you playing with your thumbs like this instead of using your thumbs like this or like this. I need you to not do this, but I need you to do more of this. That creates peace in
with that
household.
one? What's
Don't worry
that?
about that. You should know what this is. You old. But and start doing more mature things, not childish things in a relationship.
Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. But so would you get? Go
Uh,
ahead, Chelsea.
I don't disagree with the age perspective aspect, because something that I think is a blessing is that I did get to go out. I didn't, being that I went to Catholic school in the home, they tried to respect it, but it wasn't very strict. It wasn't mom was actually not raised in a religion was in it, but it wasn't very, very strict like certain other homes. Like we still tried to go to church and stuff every Sunday, but I went to school. That was my mom's dream, so that I would have some kind of faith-based aspect, and that was great. But at home, it wasn't jammed down my throat. I wasn't encouraged to do these things. So I didn't go and run and get married and do all of this. And I didn't, I was very careful about making sure that I didn't get pregnant and have children really early and do all of this, because I was very well aware. And with that, being that I got married when I did, it allowed me to be mature and be ready to settle down. I can guarantee you, if I got married any time before I married my husband, I would be divorced. I was not ready. I had way too many things. I was not traveled. I did not see and learn the things I needed. If I wouldn't have experienced what I have experienced, I would have carried that the rest of my life, wondering why I didn't. And I wouldn't be able to show up completely the way I do for my husband and in confidence, knowing that my love is 100% secure and genuine and given to me by God. So I do agree that waiting a bit later in life to make that commitment, to know that you are both spiritually aligned, mentally aligned, you guys are working and progressing towards some kind of mutual purpose together, I think is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, sweet mom, would you get married again?
You ask me that every damn week. Hold on.
Well,
This is
this
for
week.
you today. And it's my new shades. Every
Oh,
week
okay.
you ask me the same question. We
Well,
gotta be
you tell me
dating to get
something different.
married. Gotta get
You
a
tell me
date
something
before we
different
get
every
married.
week,
Huh?
huh? You tell me something different every week.
Well, hey, I blow like the wind.
Oh, really? Is that what they talking about?
Listen, these jokers out here nowadays trying to even capture their attention. Listen, I ain't putting in that much work. It's harder than working at the steel mill trying to deal with some of these men out here.
So you saying that it's harder to catch attention from a lot of men?
Mhm.
You know what? It's funny that you say that because that is a big thing that's going on now. That like a lot of women, it like a lot of men. I don't know what they're doing, but it's like it's harder. Like a lot of men, I think a lot of men, not
Need to put
from
their
you
phone
per
down.
se, a lot of men are turned off from solid relationships now.
There you go. So let me tell you. Now, sweet mama, her real life, she's semi-aggressive. So I said, okay.
Sorry.
Hold
No way, girl. No.
on, Miss Chelsea. I had to put these shades on for you. Hold on. Uh-uh.
Sorry, I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it back. Go ahead.
Now, so you had the cute shades.
Look,
What
you made my
doing?
cheeks red. That's hilarious. Go ahead. I like your shades.
Yeah, I had to give you a pair, him a pair tonight. Okay. So so men said, oh, you're flirting. So, okay, because first of all, if you capture my attention, y'all don't want to know my schedule. I'm sitting up here like, oh my God, it's almost 9:30. I fell asleep. I'm old, I need a nap. If I'm giving you any type, and then take it how you want, whoever come in. If I'm giving you any of my attention, I might say, oh, you the handsome one, you the one. You better believe it's come from a spirit of truth and not a spirit of bullshit. Because guess what? I ain't got that type of time. I ain't got that type of time. And it's not even that serious. If I'm saying, hey, so if I say, oh, so you flirting when I'm like, no, I'm crushing on you. That's letting you know you got sweet mom attention. Now you ain't got, because I'll catch you down 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, I'm done. I don't like you no more. Now, right. They're like, oh, okay. Hey, well, you're pretty. Your eyes is memorized. Listen, are we in Sweet Valley High or what? It's like, you don't want to be the woman because you want the man to find you. But these men, I don't know what the hell they looking at to be. I mean, I don't know what they're looking at. I don't know what they're looking for, where they at, where their mind is. But then the next day, like, hey, then it's like, well, wait. I was trying to be nice to you to try to be in my feminine, because I'm a little rough. I be in my feminine. Right. But damn, then I'm like, okay, well, do you need like what you need? Binoculars? I mean, what do you want me to do? I mean, what? I don't know. It's like it's the weirdest thing. They like you, but then it's like, I don't know.
Well, here's the thing, cousin. A lot of times, like I said, it's not you per se. It's going around. Before I comment on this, read Bayliner.
Men don't be paying attention. I had to hit mine in the head with the rock, so to speak.
Oh my!
Wow. Okay.
It's rough.
Semi.
So and some of these men, I'm like, listen, I ain't saying I'm a 10. You ain't a 10 either. So don't know what you're looking for. don't have your expectations too high because yours not all that high. I mean,
But
it's like
see, you know what? Now read that before go ahead, sweet mama, read that.
Sweet mama is because we don't have men anymore. Let me put my shades on. Which one you gonna get? You got that damn right.
So here's the thing. Like I said, a lot of times, a lot of men don't want the responsibility.
And I get that. You know what, cousin? I must have had a good week with you. Because you being the nicest so far. But we only how many minutes? 30 minutes. You are hitting it tonight. Because I'm trying to tell you. The men, you're right. They don't want the responsibility of like, damn, she's a good woman, and I'm gonna have to keep up. I'm gonna have to actually be responsible. I have to be a leader. I'm gonna have to be financially sound. I can't go out. She gonna want to spend time. She gonna want to, and I just want either variety when I want it or not. You see what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna be a lumpler.
See,
and it be some of y'all old ones too, Creep, like your age, around your age.
Mo,
You
half
will be
100
next week.
Half 100 Wednesday.
Next week.
But here's the thing, though. All right, say for instance, like I told you, it's a lot of responsibility that men don't want to deal with because by the way, don't change what you're doing because it's supposed to be that way. The woman, I know that somewhere down the line over the years we got mixed up, and women think that men are supposed to be after them. And I'm not, and I hate to use it like after them, but women are supposed to go for the man.
But I am a self-professed. I don't want to say I pray on man. If I want you, I want you. I'll let you know vocally, hey, so I don't try to, I'm toned a little bit since the COVIDs, but I don't see them wanting they don't want to put the work in. And my, friends like, oh, it's good, man. I get it, but they're not putting the work in. And then it's harder, especially if you are a good woman, you're a woman that know your role. And I act crazy, but I know my role. But it's like they don't want to put the work in. They don't want to be. And then we start talking like, wait a minute, you don't have a car. Wait a minute, you don't have a license. You got to go to court. You got child support. I'm like, oh, well, never mind, because you got a whole bunch of other stuff going on. I don't want you now. You gave a facade like you had it all together. But then when you start unraveling that package, it was almost like an empty box or a trinket in a box this big, but a trinket this small. And it's like, I see why. You know what? I need to listen to God more. When that man ain't giving you the snapback, just leave alone because he ain't ready. He ain't ready for all the sweet mama.
You want to read Baylana, Chelsea?
Yeah. See that phone in his hand? That is why men don't pay attention. They pay more attention to their phones. And I think for the younger generations, this is and older, I guess, but they pay so much attention to their phones and it's just consumed. I mean, they're consumed.
He's looking for the other phone.
There you go. You brought it up. He's gone.
5 phones. And that's true. Thank you, Baylana. And I see. And it's like they're on it. They become the new women, the gossip. They reposting stuff on Instagram because I get them all the time from the male friends. They reposting. They on Facebook. They snapping and taking photos. Like with selfie thing used to be a woman thing, a female thing. Now they doing more stuff like, wow, all these group men pictures. Like, wow, why you with all these dudes? Like, it's too many of y'all. I might want your friend. So it's like they can't put the social media down. Or now it gives people another conduit of finding people in Mexico or Venezuela or New York, or you can find so many people to connect with sexually or intimately or DMing that it's just not your local folk now.
And it's instant. I think the big thing here is that it's instant gratification. And when you get that constant instant gratification where you don't have to put in the work, you don't have to have the responsibilities and keep up with that good woman, when you can go find another one and do the same thing, or not another thing that doesn't have same thing. But you know what I'm saying. Anyway, it's just it's gotten to a point now where you don't have to work for it, and there has to be effort into something that's going to be good, and nothing good comes easy. Is how I grew up. You have to work for it.
Well, that's the best way because you'll respect it more.
Right, when you work for something.
Correct.
But that's when we were saying the religion part. Nothing that came in religion, what we just talked about for 20 minutes, came in when we talk about men and relation. Nothing that aspect, everything was on a social level. Nothing came about spirituality. My male friends ain't posting nothing spiritual. It's BBLs and whatever else going on, animals humping on you. I don't know. Whatever, just be all type of stuff.
And I agree. And that's where it needs to be. That's why I think it is important that individually in yourself, you have to have and work on your relationship spiritually with your higher power or what you believe in. Because if you, as our men who are supposed to be our leaders, who are supposed to be the guides, are supposed to be that, then, and they're looking up these BBLs, or looking up and reposting all these women, instead of spending their time maybe trying to get to know God or talk to them or ask them for help with the struggles in their marriage, learn different aspects and coping skills through prayer, rather than sitting here and spending your time wasting it on these instant gratification. And I guarantee you a lot of these complaints that, oh, there's no good women, there's no this, there's no that, wouldn't be an issue in that specific person's life if they focus their heart on God's will for them, not their will, in my opinion.
I think people are just living. They're not looking into the other aspects of the 8 dimensions of wellness. They just living. Every day I'm going to get up and go to work. I'm going to go to the party Saturday.
You're right.
I'm going to go to work,
You're right.
Monday through Friday. I may work overtime Saturday. I'm going to go get my hair cut Friday. Then they starting the week back over. I'm going to go watch football on Friday. I'm going to go shoot pool on Saturday. So it's just a cycle of socialization and not the religious piece.
So a lot of them, you saying like a lot of them are preoccupied. And I meant to give you an amen on what you said, Chelsea. That was a good point, but I couldn't get to my amen fast enough. But no, and y'all right now, right here, Baylana said, now we got men on Instagram making duck faces. Now, that is so true. Because here's the thing about that. Would you want a man that's like that? I mean, Chelsea, I know you married, but let's say you're not married. Would you take a man like that? He on social media making duck faces?
I know we're talking about religion and I only have one judge, but I would probably see that picture and be like, bro, really? Like, really? Like, I mean, it wouldn't be a complete disqualification, but I probably would not. If that was your profile pic on a Tinder and I was single, you probably wouldn't be swiping the right way, however that is.
Right. And see, the thing about that, y'all, it seems like when I say this, y'all trip on me when I talk about betas. Wait till y'all get bit by a beta. And then y'all gonna respect me a little bit more.
I've been bit many times.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. These guys, I'm telling you, those are right there, things that you can spot to stay away from the beginning. You know what I mean? A lot of these men are not men, and it's terrible. And Baylana says, "Sweet mama, I have been guilty of that, but GPD shook me up."
God.
God picked me up also. Okay, got you. So, it's rough out here. So, as far as women in marriage, pay attention from day one. Pay attention, because a lot of these guys are being feminized so much, and they think it's so cool. I'm gonna tell you, it was funny when I was growing up. I used to see a lot of the guys that wanted to wear women's tennis shoes. Do y'all remember that? They wanted the little, it could be pink or fuchsia red Jordans or something crazy, and they wanted to wear them, and because their feet were small, that was a thing. That was when they were being feminized, right there, and they didn't pay attention. So It's a lot y'all need to watch out for.
I
And that's for
ain't
men.
been around nobody like that with no fusion pink tennis shoes.
Oh
Where
yeah,
was this at,
I've
Creep?
seen it. I've seen it, but it was
Where
like
was
more
that
so
at?
this new generation coming up. But
Oh, the
you
new
know,
generation, yes, but not in our old day. No, no, sir.
no, I'm saying I seen it coming up. I would say probably back in let's say 2011 on up,
Oh,
you know,
no, I
this
thought
little
you
new
meant like
generation.
89, 85. No, sir.
Yeah.
This new
So I
20,
mean,
20, 2,000 plus people. No, no, sir.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
So, you know, you definitely got to pay attention to it all because y'all don't want to get deep, you know, knee deep up in a relationship. And then all of a sudden, he's just as feminine as you guys. You
But
know what I mean?
sometimes it's well hidden, and then sometimes, because I hear different stories. Women find out their men are that way, and they just stay with them. They rather have
Yeah,
a
I've
piece of
seen that.
man than no man.
I've seen that. I've seen
They
that. And
they've
that's
had
crazy.
hints of different things. Women know. Um, a man hands softer than yours because he won't move nothing, or he hiring everybody to do everything, or yeah, there's like
See,
gotta
that
watch
that's
out for
one
him.
that I always say too, cuz like he don't want to pick up a wrench. That's something else that you
Or
gotta
men
watch
that
out
watch
for.
women struggle. I have men that I've worked with watch women either put up tables, take down tables, move chairs, and he just look like, oh, okay, won't even hold the
Right.
door. So I'm like, okay, so I already know where you're going. You're not too cute for TV. It's just like they just either wasn't taught or don't know or just know but not gonna do it. They're not gonna help chip their little nails and stuff, that little clear coat on their fingernails.
Right. So imagine ignoring a lot of that, but then you get married. You know, life changes after marriage. People usually don't get better, they get worse. And then you
Mm-hmm.
got to deal with it. It's like if before marriage, if you was at a 10, they'll drop back to like a 6 after marriage. And then you're going to be hoping to build it back up past the 10. But a lot of times it just never gets there.
Mm-mm.
And you got to deal with it and keep hoping and praying that it builds up. Then you got the cognitive dissonance setting in. Well, maybe it's me, or maybe, her, or, it's a lot. So getting married, you got to watch out for. And because right when you married, that's when I got that I got your moment get you.
Mm-hmm. I
So
felt that
That's
too.
also, I think. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna read what Baylana said.
I think that's
okay.
also a consequence, though, of getting married so young as well, like, and jumping in and doing all of that because of that change aspect. Because me and Dustin heard it so many times, like, oh, just wait till the first year, just wait till you get married, just wait till you get married. It's like almost like we were waiting for the ball to drop. But I think because we spent so much time building our friendship prior to, it has done nothing but grow and grow in faith and grow in love and happiness. So we did, though. We waited. We're like, okay, we're at a year. Okay, we're at 2. Like, and it's done nothing but grow and get better because of 2 aspects, which is kind of a big point that a lot of what I wrote about tonight to talk about was the 2 things in relationships that are the most important. So women need love and men need respect. Simple. That's the 2 biggest things. And it's in different proportions, right? So a man would much have less love and have more respect. And a woman's going to want more love, more of that time. So it's called,
so how
and I
does that
was
work
doing,
though, Chelsea? When if
there's a
he doesn't
great, it's
show more love, now what?
So this is what is called the crazy cycle. So without love, the woman acts without respect. And without respect, the man acts without love. So then you become in this perpetuated cycle of just ups and down. And now we're communicating and not reaching each other, one saying one thing and the other person's hearing another thing.
Okay. Before we step on, because we're gonna comment on that. Baylana said, Creek, you better start looking at some better women. Well, Baylana, I am straighter than 6 o'clock. where I am. Now, when I say that, for some reason, Cuzzy shakes her head and she says she don't understand it when I say that. Now,
Say
Cuzzy,
what?
when I say I'm straighter than 6 o'clock, okay. Let's say we got the clock in front of us. 6 is down the bottom, and you got the 12. So when it's 6 o'clock, it's straight up and down. So I'm straighter than 6 o'clock. Got it?
That's an old man stuff, but go ahead. That's an old man playing the card on a milk crate.
Right.
Go ahead.
All right. Finally, my brother-in-law in the building. What's going on, Tony?
Oh,
Actually, Tony could comment a lot on this, but good to see you, my brother.
But thank
Yeah,
you
you walked
for
into
the method. As I'm sitting here thinking about Chelsea, it is women need more love, men need more respect. And I just heard
yeah,
that
of course.
with a young man, younger than I am, I'm gonna say younger man than I am. We had a conversation this week, not in reference to me and him, but
Yeah.
we was talking about the girl he dealt with around Valentine's Day. He didn't do anything because that's not the nature of their relationship. They are dating and seeing each other, but he don't want to give her too many false hopes. And he was like, you know, I want her to respect me as a man, more so sending me all these hearts and flowers and the candies for one day. I want to be respected every day versus one day you doing all this stuff for. So that was a conversation they had about Valentine's Day because her girlfriend was trying to coerce her mind, you know, why he's not you know, damn near get married in 3 months to her, you know, and that's not the nature of their relationship is, you know, moving to. He just want to take it, you know, on a getting to know her and building a friendship status where women just want to instantly just jump into everything, not knowing the man, and then it becomes some foolishness. So
Yeah.
you want to read Baylana's comment?
He means he's straight. He don't want to be hunting a woman. Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Amen.
you want the woman to hunt you?
Amen.
Oh gosh, go ahead, Chelsea.
An example that I just to go off of that with you is this wife was professing to her husband or whatever that she wanted love and their anniversary was coming up and all of that. So he goes out, he gets the card, reads the front of it and says, oh, this sounds really cool or nice. I like this, gets the card. She opens it and she gets upset and she gets mad because it's a happy birthday card and it's their anniversary. So she felt that he couldn't even take the time to read the card and really see what it was. And it was for the wrong holiday and all of that. So it made the situation worse. And instead of reacting in a certain way, he felt that he was disrespected because, hey, I went and got you this card and whatever, you can't even appreciate that. Well, you don't even respect me. And then they get into this cycle. So it's really it's difficult.
So she was upset that he got a birthday card versus the anniversary card.
And I guess the point of it is that they're saying one thing, right, and they're hearing another thing, right? She's saying, I wanted an anniversary card, I wanted this, but in reality, she's saying, I don't feel like you love me. I don't feel like I'm enough because you couldn't even read this card or take the time out to whatever, versus I forgot where I was going with that, but taking the time to really go through that and felt like it was just rushed and didn't take that, and that he wasn't so that's kind of the point there, example that he had used that made me understand the point. I know it's kind of hard to explain because he had a lot of context before it too in the marriage. And it was just about how she's speaking pink and he's speaking purple or speaking blue. They're not understanding each other. They're not communicating. And then feelings are now getting hurt. He doesn't feel respected. She doesn't feel loved. And now they're in this cycle of chaos and they can't break it. And it just kind of slowly breaks down a marriage when you don't have if you don't have respect for your man and respect for your partner, and you don't show love like God shows you love. And there actually is a Bible verse where it says that you are to love your wife as you love yourself, and wives love and respect your husbands. So like kind of going off of that verse as well, and really showing that compassion for your wife's emotions and feelings, and then giving that man respect.
I think a lot of people don't have conversations about their needs or their wants in their relationship. It's always going to be the yelling part. You don't do this. You don't give me that. Instead of calmly explaining, having discussions, or having those times where you just asking questions and, you know, getting to know that person. It's always when it's a screaming match or something goes wrong that they don't like. It's never to say, hey, babe, let's just have, you know, some talk time or some tea time or pillow talk or whatever, you know. So those times, it's usually when something goes wrong and a person is extremely irritated, then they take it to the highest level, you know, where they're trying to get back or who's going to hurt who the most with words.
Correct.
And
well,
it's
guess
not
what,
Creed? What's up?
If the woman stay in her frame, feminine frame, the man wouldn't have to yell.
No, I get that part, but I'm saying like it's never like let's have a discussion. Even a man,
it's
busy, or you know, I'm the leader. We shouldn't have those discussions. He's a man, too manly man, alpha.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, he's not one to openly express his feelings.
Yes.
Because he's in that man role. You're not supposed to have feelings. You're supposed to be the man. You're not supposed to be soft. You're not supposed to be I'm going to love you. I'm going to take care of the household. You're here. I'm going to protect you from harm. Somebody breaking and shooting, somebody harm you. But when it comes to feelings and emotions, they don't want to have it.
Yep. That was the point in that long-winded story that I missed. That was the point that I was missing. And that was he's thinking in his brain going, well, what do you mean? I'm taking care of the house. I mean, I'm providing, I'm making sure you have food and don't have to worry, and taking care of the cars and the lawn, all the duties he's doing. But you're upset with me over getting you a happy birthday card.
But this is what the book of Crete said. He's not going to be emotionally what, cousin?
Available.
From the book of Cretology.
So you believe, Crete.
Section 12.
You believe. Okay, section 12 verses 2C in the Cretology book. You believe that you are not emotionally available for your wife.
No.
Shoo, you got a long future in your path, buddy.
See, because I'll be listening to you. I act like it, but see how I bring it up.
Okay.
So,
cool beans.
If that's what you want in your marriage, I would highly suggest you seek yourself a beta. He'll pillow talk.
So
he'll snuggle bun.
He is a beta.
He'll have on some onesies and all that, while y'all can talk about female problems.
So hold on. I have a question for you. So I guess my real question is like, what is your definition of emotionally available? Because you are from what I know of you, you are a kind man and you are a generous man, you know? So if your woman comes up to you and is needing a little extra special time, something, right? Needing a little extra, maybe just to be around you, to feel, just to have you listen to her or talk about your day. And she comes to you and she asks you in her place now, okay, in her place, you know, hey babe, you know, I really need a little extra you time this week. I'm struggling because I feel blah, blah, blah. And I really just want to know where you're at, and let's talk about us, and let's be in this emotionally vulnerable state together because I need to feel your love and your heart for me. You're just going to like, you know, like, sorry, I'm not emotionally available. I got to go sell a dirt bike. You know, like,
you know what I'll do? I'll say, you see that picture back there? That picture be right there for you to see while I'm out here working.
You're full of
Talk to the picture.
beans.
No, I'm joking.
You're full of beans.
uh,
Yeah, you
uh,
gonna move on.
you want to
You
read
can't
Simply
not
Tenart,
say
cousin?
disagree and him be put in beta. That's just his story. He's sticking to LOL. ... Emotional makes him think you meant he's soft. I know, and thank you. We can all know and see this, but
Now,
we'll move on for your.
No, we ain't gotta move on. I'll listen, especially approaching me in the right feminine frame.
That's what I'm saying.
I would definitely listen.
Saying.
But she has to be ready for the answer of a solution.
Please read brother-in-law. I want to hear your opinion on what he's saying.
Brother-in-law says, hold on. Wait, 1 MFing minute. I pillow talk and I snuggle with my Snickers, and I'm not a beta. Well, Tony, do you have little toe rings and stuff like that when you're in the bed? I'm joking, brother. You know, no. Let me say this: the pillow talk, awesome.
Bruh.
The what else did he say? Snuggle with my Snickers.
Bruh.
Wonderful. And no, Tony isn't a beta, because if he was a beta, I'd have told my little sister, like, come here for a minute, let me tell you something. So Tony is my guy.
You can't,
and I'm not saying this because he's on here. I'm saying this for real. I love him to pieces. I'm gonna give it to my sisters. They picked 2 guys that I really like. They my brothers, Tony and Melvin. Definitely. Okay. So I have no problems with them. Love them to pieces.
You're selective.
No, let one of my other sisters bring in a dude that's a beta. You think I'm not gonna say it?
No, I'm not saying about your sisters. I'm just like Dr. D. I mean, you don't think, I mean, you do not think that he comes and he's sensitive and all of these to my needs because I come to him in a good place and all of these things. And it's just so freaking hilarious to me because you cannot pick and choose and put Dr. D and brother-in-law when they do these things that you categorize as a beta, but I like them. They go in my good bucket. I like them.
Let me say this.
Here it goes.
I got to have a few questions or a few talks with Dr. D on some things.
Oh, that's all.
You classify a man with a ponytail. Dr. D has a ponytail. So
if he go past his shoulders, I'm gonna really have to have a talk with him.
So you pick and choose the betas and alphas.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you really. Let me hear what they got to say. If they start saying some stuff, I'm gonna let them know, and I'll let y'all know right here, right now. Sure enough.
So you're telling me that you would not schedule in an extra hour for your woman if she said she needed an extra little time with you because she was you're full of beans. Go ahead.
I would, of course, if she's a good woman, absolutely. If she's not trying to take advantage of the moment, absolutely.
Take advantage. She's trying to take advantage.
Yeah, I get that. That's fine. But what I'm saying is, when you start listening to a lot of women and they start getting their way a lot, I don't care what y'all say. Then now, a lot of times y'all think y'all running the show, and y'all not running the show.
Get out.
Get
not running the show.
I want to hear what they're getting their way on.
All right. Well, we can talk about that. Now, Baylana right here said, you want to read Baylana, Chelsea? If he was
approached properly with a good woman, he would soften. I bet he can pillow talk with the best of them. At that, don't make him a beta. Correct.
See,
that's correct.
Well spoken from men. Thank you. a manly man. Then also, Baylana says the proper energy from a woman can change how a man reacts with a woman. Very, very true. And that's what I'm trying to explain to y'all. You know, you got too many of these rough women out here. Rough.
I don't disagree with you, but that wasn't my original question. I said if she was in her place and in her role.
And I said, I agree with you. I do agree with you. Because if she coming from like, I'm telling you, it's not always going to be that way. And y'all women have to be checked. Y'all have to be checked. And if y'all can't accept being checked, I'm out.
Can you accept being checked?
Yes.
Because a grown man
by the Bible,
okay.
I can accept being checked by the Bible, and I can accept being checked by elders who did I know that's has experience. I don't age really doesn't make you educated. It can give you experiences, but some you can make dumb moves all your life. But I know some people who really made some moves in life that I'm willing to listen to. All right. So,
but
yes, I can be checked.
Look at the way no, but you're telling me, and you can have everyone's entitled to their opinions, right? But you're telling me that you don't take your wife's word or your whatever, and not saying you're personal, but if you had a good woman, all that, you'd be ignorant as hell to not listen to some of your wife's advice because she's there to advise and be that helpmate to lead and not lead, but to also be on this journey with you. And what, you just put her in this little pocket and say, speak when spoken to, and I'll only get your advice when I ask because I ain't going to listen to it because you're not my elder and you're not this other person. I mean, that's just instantly shutting your wife's voice completely down. And that's not going to lead to a healthy relationship at all.
Let me tell you something, Chelsea. If she told me it was raining outside, I'm going to go look for myself.
You take that and you take that, you take to the grave, my friend. Solo.
Brother-in-law said a lot of time the pillow talk is the only time we talk because of work schedule.
Yes, I don't disagree.
So what I say is get all the pillow talk in that you can, because it can be a beautiful thing. Baylana says it's time to get the likes up tonight. Hit that like button for us, please. Yes, indeed. Y'all hit the like button so that we can get built up in the algorithm, so we can have a bigger show, so that we can have more interesting people on here. Help it out from the beginning. Now,
we're not
Chelsea, I would definitely, seriously, it makes all the more difference. I'm saying for a man to have a woman that is really trying to be in her role and not, because you got some women that just be trying to just jump out the role, and now they trying to tell you you should be making this kind of money or you should be doing this and I want this and all that. That's why a lot of guys don't want to deal with serious relationships like that no more. You see what I'm saying? It's like now their mouth has become like a siren with pit bulls behind it.
What kind of people you deal with, Crete?
Bruh.
It's
like, I agree that I don't disagree with you that absolutely. Where do you think give people an inch, they'll take a foot? Everybody has the likelihood to take advantage of people and take advantage of things, and that's not obviously healthy. But to say that their women's voices have becoming a siren, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, that to me is crazy.
That's not all women,
because that's just ridiculous. God did not sit here and say to put this woman and silence her and to put her in this corner and only be where you advise when asked for advisement and all of that, to be suffocating. Now, I'm not saying to tell you need to make this or anything like that. But for example, like, I would encourage my husband to potentially take this job over or whatever, or help him see some of the things that maybe he wouldn't have thought about, some of the pros or cons, or asking him certain questions to make him think about, oh, well, maybe you have to drive further. You got to do, like, we have these conversations and talk with each other to talk these things out so that we are fully aware. And that's me helping him through. That's a helpmate. So to sit here and say that, like, oh, well, don't speak about my income. Don't speak about this. Don't speak about this. I don't want your say. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. That to me is just, I mean, that's what is it? Like dominate. That's domineering. That's administrative, like, communist. Sorry.
Well, I'm sorry
Dictatorship. That's
that
the word I'm going
you
for.
feel that way, because like I said, if a woman comes not like a siren, but like beautiful bells ringing, it changes the mood.
What woman is that?
See,
And
right there.
again,
You said
I
what
don't
bells
disagree
ringing?
that
What
women
kind of bells
out of
ringing?
Yeah, bells ringing. What's up? There's Bella Mirage, aka Viv. What's going on?
Hey, Miss Viv.
Now, Viv, if you want to step in here on any of this, let us know.
So
I'll send
make
you the
sure
link
you
so
all
you can
still
call
drop
in.
your. I'm sorry, Creed.
No,
Make
go
sure
ahead.
you all still drop your feelings and emotions, because it may have stirred up some things when we were listening to the Book of Creatology. Yet again, section 12,
for real.
2.C. Please drop your 1 through 5. Give us your mental health check, and still let us know your feelings.
That's the topic, Viv, right there.
We
And
need to bring religion back into marriages.
I'm kind of
that's
off
what
that
it
topic
is.
a bit. But
So what kind of
So,
bells
but
this woman supposed to have, Creek?
what kind of
Chingalinga?
bells?
You said she should have her bells. What kind of bells?
Yes, pleasant. Come pleasant. Don't come roaring like a lion. If you go and look, television and all your YouTubes and all that stuff, you can see a lot of women in their raw form. Now, I'm not just getting on women. You check out some of these dudes too. A lot of these dudes are eating the same stuff y'all eating
Oh my.
because they're very feminine. And if that's what y'all want in y'all life, go ahead. But I'm gonna tell you, this is always one of those things. You can sit back. I don't care what. Y'all can look at friends of y'all's. If there's a masculine woman, best believe she has a beta man, a soft man. She's not going to have a man in her life. That will clash all day long. Most. Go ahead, cuz. Tell me who.
Well, now it's a little different. If you have a lot of the times those masculine women, they're seeking other women. They're not seeking a man.
Okay, tell me what part of that is right.
I didn't say it was right. I just was commenting to add your little extra.
So now, let's say that is the case, which is it is. That is the case. Now, with that being the case, it's funny when women do that. They'll go and go get another woman. And that relationship be worse than being with a man. Simply Tenar said cowbells. Yeah. So, and you have Bella Mirage said, if the marriage didn't start out in religion, it's going to be a challenge. Very true. That's very true.
And I agree with that a lot. And that we kind of touched a little bit on that, is that and another thing I've probably mentioned before, I'm a firm believer that when you get out of a relationship, a marriage, anything like that, you have to have time by yourself. And let me specify by yourself, because a lot of people be like, oh, this, oh, that. I mean, single. I mean, living alone in your home by yourself. I lived in a basement apartment that I was renting for $400, but you know what? It was mine, and I was by myself, and I could lock the door and nobody was in my business. And you have to take that time for yourself to heal and re-ask God to be back in your heart and back in your life. So I don't disagree with her statement at all. It can be a big challenge, but a lot of the times we're not taking the time from one relationship to another. We're in a relationship, then we get either right into a relationship, or we're still living with some kind of arrangement. And we have to take that time to literally have space, because you don't know in your heart if you don't take that time to heal. And that's kind of, I think, kind of the piece too, is we have to stop going from one relationship to another without taking some space to breathe.
Especially for men.
Especially for women.
Yeah,
For
that's
both.
true.
It's equal.
That's
it's
true.
equal.
That's
There's
true.
no tit for tat on that. It is equal. Both as a human being, we have to heal. And if we don't feel the pain, we do not heal the pain. And if you just suppress it and put it in the dark, you will never move on from said past, said relationship. It will always come up and cause problems on your future relationships, because it's like an infection. It will just fester and fester. And I do believe you have to deal with it, and you can't deal with it with somebody else necessarily. You do have to give yourself a little bit of space.
Well, Chelsea, like I was saying, I agree with you. With you. But the reason why I said especially men is because, and I say this all the time, when there's a breakup or problems in a relationship, the woman usually get in her feelings, her emotions run high, right or wrong? Right or wrong?
Women are emotional beings, yes.
So men usually go and do something else to get past the pain. They'll add something in their life, but never take the time to be by themselves, to find themselves. And that's why I said especially men, because we will go and add something on real quick. Instead of healing, we'll go and mountain bike ride.
I don't think it's any different for women versus men, because a lot of women are like that the same way. We're going to go, and I don't think it's any different. I really don't think it's a tit for tat, or it's more men, more not. I don't disagree with you that it's more likely you're going to add another task in your life to fill the time so you don't have to deal with your problems. Yeah, you're just ignoring and suppressing and procrastinating dealing with your problems.
What I'm telling you, there's a known fact. By me being a man, you go and do something different. Some men don't take the time out to heal. That's why I said it's important. And then guess what? They'll go and jump into another relationship with another woman and haven't even healed up.
And I agree with you, Creep, speaking for somebody that's single and trying to date. You know, when you're asking those questions, they're still even not completely divorced, or they kind of staying at their mom's house and, separate from the household. And they're looking for, trying to deal with you, somebody who's whole, means, you're single, you unattached, you don't have any shenanigans, but they bringing all that junk, they trying to put it on you. And you got to have those conversations like, when they say you separated, what does separated mean? It's like y'all got a court date, you still live together, you still going over here, you live with your mama. What is it? Yeah. Because men jump into it probably more so than women. Not saying that women don't. Now, women will go out and get them some pleasurings. That's different. Men, not saying that women don't separate it, but women are more emotionally attached when it comes to sex versus men. Men want the numbers, the comfort,
body count.
Because once they leave that woman who's been cooking, cleaning, ironing, and doing those things, they can't get out that routine. They're gonna try to pick up another woman to do the same things, but maybe through her house. He'll start staying over there, spend the night, do the dinner.
He will fill his void by doing something extra. But that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. And then a lot of women will be emotional and not fit to do anything else because they're in their feelings. I get it. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, Chelsea. As a man, we will go and do something extra and didn't even heal.
I don't disagree with you. I just don't think it's, like I said, I don't disagree with you that
I mean, to a sense, it's the same. But then again, when you start digging, it's a difference. Bella Marad said, God is not forced. God is not a forced thing. It's a desire, and God don't force on anyone. Very true.
That is correct.
Then Bella Marad says, most women try to force their husbands to follow them to church and that's out of order. That's another one.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I think a lot of men, I mean, we're not, I think it's generational too. A lot of our men are not being raised with some kind of spiritual structure or an importance or an emphasis on spirituality. I mean, my parents literally went into debt for the sheer fact that my mom's dream was to send me to a Catholic school. I mean, they paid $10,000 a year in that time just in 3 kids going to a Catholic school, and it literally, we lost the house and put us in debt and because of certain things. But I agree. I mean, our men are not being the examples for these women and leading them on a faithful path as well. And I think it's just we've lost touch and we've disconnected. And I believe that honestly, social media is a big part and a big play in the disconnect of God and religion in our schools. I mean, somebody just pointed out to me that even in our,
I don't think it's social media. It's your family. It starts first. If you have family that don't perpetuate into going to church or having some spirituality, it starts home. I don't want to hear when I have conversations, not in reference to you. People always talking about we need to bring religion back in school. We need to, and I work in school. You need to bring religion back into your household because that's where most of the hell starts. And these kids come to school with the hell that y'all have given all day, all night, and then bring it into the school system. And then we, as therapists, professionals, teachers, whatever, have to deal with that. It starts at home. And somebody said something about men should bring them to God. But if man has no spirituality, sometimes the woman feels though for us to get better, to grow, I'm going to try to get my man to go to church with me because his life, his family was not big on that, or something traumatic or happened. So me being a woman to being a helpmate to my husband and his spirituality and his soul and life, I'm going to say, hey, babe, let's go to church, so Christmas service or Thanksgiving, New Year's, or hey, let's go to this program. Most of the time, I go to church for the communing with people in a little service. I don't need anybody to interpret the Bible for me or the Quran or whatever. I'm highly intelligent. I'm well read. I don't need people that the preacher. The preachers are just like I said, pimps. I like some people. They're just like pimps. They're orators. They're people to bring people to the flock. The church is a business. You're bringing people to a flock of how you present yourself, how you wearing the robe, how you look, you dress up. It's just like being a pimp. And I'm talking about mostly, and I don't want to say African American churches, but we know with the mega churches how things have rolled. Not saying the other churches, there are some things, but it's a big business. A lot of men don't want to deal with that. They want to deal with the realism, and they're not going to give up their money to something they don't feel is going to benefit them to leading as a man. If that has not been your structure, most of the time it has to take divine intervention, or illness, something happen for people who haven't gone to spiritual guidance to happen.
Right. Very true.
Sad, but
you want to
true.
read Bella Mirage's comment? Once one
is saved. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Once one is saved, the other is covered, as God sees the covenant as one.
And I believe that because you got to pray for him. My husband wasn't a church goer. I tried a couple times. He went a couple times, and that was it. I got worried about my soul because if I'm gonna go, I ain't got nothing to do with him. He gonna have to answer for whoever in his mind. He tried to be a Muslim. I call him a Fuslim because he was a Fuslim, effed up Muslim. Because we stopped eating the pork, and but you were still of an evil nature. So nothing you read with the Quran or hanging out with the Muslim brothers gave you any spiritual guide. You were just as nasty and mean as a rattlesnake. So he was a Muslim for a while.
A lot of people could be in religion, but be bad representations of that religion.
Absolutely.
I've seen it. One thing, Baylana, support the cause, help our hosts out a little. Sweet Mama, Chelsea, Dr. Creek, absolutely. hit up them Cash Apps. We have some good hosts every Friday. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Bailey.
so much.
We appreciate that. And
Y'all want to hear a funny story?
Huh?
I'd
Go
like
for
to
it.
know. We love your subject, but you know, I always got the shenanigans, Chelsea.
Oh,
And welcome back. Miss
Thank
V
you.
was very great in your absence, and we're gonna definitely invite her on because she gave it to the real.
who that?
Good.
So here go a story, and I'm gonna make y'all Friday. Yep, it's still Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm with
if you know, with most
Good.
churches, you have to do marriage counseling before you get married, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So again, this is my family church. Our great grandmother, aunts, my mother attended this church. So we were planning a summer wedding. My son was 3. He was gonna be 3 at the time. So my ex-husband was not from a religious family at all. They didn't attend church. So I was 23 when I got married, and he was 25. Hold on to y'all drawers, because this is a true story. And if you don't believe me, you can go back to Facebook, look on my page, and look at the pictures of the reception. Let me tell you is, and here how it go. So we were set up for marriage counseling. My original pastor, who was a female, was not available. So the associate pastor was a male. So we went in, and he was creepy. To me, creepy anyway. So they separate you in the room. They give you a sheet, and it said list from 1 to 10. 1 being the greatest, the things that you all find valuable. So like financial, spiritual, love, sex, da 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 da. So of course we're not together. We're not, they separate you. So we had the same exact thing. So when you come back together, you have a discussion. He just wanted the social pastor wanted like a discussion. It was like, how did y'all have the same thing? Did y'all know about this? I'm like, no, we don't know anybody else that got married in the church. So how will we know, about the little quiz you're supposed to take? So he was like, so you all are young, you all want to get married. You're kind of young, 20s is kind of young. Don't y'all think y'all should kind of wait? We had already purchased the house. So we had a mortgage, and my son at the time was 3. That's his father. Let me get myself together. Okay. So he was like, my mom didn't marry my dad, but I want to get married, to Sweet Mama. We're going to use my real name, Sweet Mama. And we have a child we're raising. So he was like, but, are y'all ready? He was like, well, we feel like we're ready. So the pastor just was going in, and my ex-husband started to get upset, like he's trying to discourage us from getting married. And he felt offended because this was a decision we made and we want to stick to it. But you, as the pastor that's supposed to marry us, trying to discourage us from getting married. So it became extremely, when I say hostile.
Oh no.
Creep, we got to wear that little button where you at the radio station and they like Martin, like, So, so he went to answer a call, and he came back. He was like, maybe you all are rushing. Again, I knew my husband since I was 17, so 6 years. He was like, I don't think y'all should get married. God told me not to marry y'all. So then, of course, my husband being a smart ass, he was like, well, did God call you on the phone? Was that him on the phone? So I'm sitting there like, oh my God, this is my family's church that I attend. Holy smoke, because my mother will bring the smoke, right, Creed? My little teeny mother will bring the smoke. And stuff not going around. I'm like, oh my God. So they started arguing, and of course, I'm like, oh my God, because my ex-husband had
pastor.
So he was like, I'm not going to recommend you for marriage, because they got to get it okay. So he was like, F you, F this church, bleep me. I was like clutching my pearls that I didn't have. I was like, oh my God, mama gonna get me. Because my mother was no good.
Your husband did that?
Well, you know, we weren't married yet, but yeah, at the
Yeah.
pastoral council, I was like, oh my God, I'm clutching my pearls. Oh my God. The man said, get out, try to walk on the front steps of the church on North Avenue in Bloomingdale, that big white church in the Walbrook Junction. Bleed. After church, I was like, oh my God, we're going to burn at the church. He said every sailor word to the pastor, and I lied to my mama. I did.
Oh, shoot.
I didn't disclose till I was getting divorced what happened, actually. So we could not get certified to get married in the church. And my god brother said, you knew what the devil had to get up and slap you in the face for you not to get married. You knew that man wasn't right. He cussed the pastor out at the church, in the church. Right. We got married in the courthouse with the big old dirty big book. So boom. Right. So me and my god sister and him, we got married, went to the IHOP after we got married. My grandfather and grandmother on my dad's side was going to preside at the reception. Only person knew what happened was my god sister. So I had got a gown made. My old supervisor made a gown, still dressed up. So we had a reception. We got married July 3rd, 1,000 years ago. So that weekend, because it was a holiday weekend, we prepared, on the weekend, a reception. Mm-hmm. So he came to my parents' house in Baltimore and I was like, my father came upstairs like, oh, crazy. Well, we call him Satan. Crazy here. And I'm like, why is he here? The limousine, my dad got free because my gown was still long for the reception. I had a Nissan Sentra. You know how small Nissan Sentra is? You can't get a gown in Nissan Sentra. I'm a fluffy girl. So yeah, that, and we were only going 2 blocks over to a recreation center in Baltimore. So all of a sudden my father said, oh, Crazy was here, but he's gone. I'm like, why was he here? He was like, oh, he blew up because he couldn't ride in the limousine. I said, the plan was he was supposed to go with his friend. His friend and him were together, same setup, like you were getting married. My grandfather was going to what we call a blessing over the marriage. Oh my God. So fool blew up. His dad went after him. He left. We got in the limousine. We thought Dum went to the reception hall, got his life together. Went to the reception hall, got there. His mom was like, where's Crazy at?
Dang, y'all ain't even call him out his name. Go ahead.
I call him Crazy, but family member, we call him Satan. So my family members only, they know who Satan.
Yeah, I got somebody, I call Satan. Yeah, go ahead. Anyway.
So we got to the hall. His best friend was like, he's not here. They was looking for him. So imagine I'm the only child of my parents, and girl. My mother and his mother huddle up crying. He's my mother-in-law's only child. Mm-hmm. So 2 only children try to get married. My son's the only child because only one came out in the miracle. So my father is a light-complected man, and he turned beet red. When I say upset, that was like the worst. And when I had my cousin make an announcement, hey, Sweet Mama said we're going to continue with the reception. Mind you, with this 3-tier cake, and it's in my photos on Facebook, he did not show to our reception. I had the reception by myself. There are photos of me cutting cake and eating it myself. My mom, his mom was huddled up crying. My dad was beet red, pissed. And my girlfriends was like, what the hell going on? They pulled me in the back. Was like, what is going on? So my god sister, who was the one that was there when we got married, she told the whole story. Of course, I'm upset. So I told my cousin, listen, my mom paid for this reception, the majority of it. Y'all better eat this damn food because I'm not taking it home. So my cousin said, oh, I said, make the announcement. Thought she had a little coof in her. But see, can't everybody make the public service announcements for you? I should have made my own announcement. And mind you, my co-workers was there. My mama church member. So when you burst your mama in front of church members, you fitting to get it.
The whole neighborhood.
Dang, cousin.
Whole family.
Yeah, whole family.
Oh, they decided to say, oh yeah, by the way, Crazy not here. Sweet Mama said, go ahead and eat the damn food because he ain't showing up. What kind of announcement was that? So we had the reception and we felt bad. Because I came from a 2-parent household, my parents are still together. I wish I had some smart girlfriends, some older girlfriends that should have told me, get that shit annulled. Get out.
For
Get out.
real.
Flag gonna play. Girl, don't do it. You're gonna have all these years of hell. But my mother said, oh no, 'cause we were already married because of course we went to the court. And my mom is one of those people, just like our grandmother and Creek's dad, death till you die, y'all gonna be together. Now me, I don't feel that way. I'm tired of people quick.
Well, I ain't gonna say nothing right now, but go ahead.
I'm tired of people real quick with the foolishness. And if my mom was a what I want to say, it wasn't an old-fashioned mother, she should say, get the hell out. Get the hell out. It ain't gonna you young. Boo, don't do it. But because she's like, no, y'all need to be married because y'all got a son and work with him. I was in a domestic violence relationship. So evil kept over the years. When I say disaster of a wedding, that's kind of like, do I want to try to get married for somebody to stand me up again? Don't know. But to have my parents in their 80s to maybe put them through that again, no, ma'am. I'm good right now. I'm saying right now. But when you're not equally yoked with people, especially not spiritually yoked, that's the bull and the lies and deception. Because I didn't tell my mom until we were divorcing. I said, Mom, let me tell you what actually happened.
Oh, no.
He blew up. She was like, I should have known that jackass did something for us. Because over the years, but when you're not equally yoked, just to say, spiritually, and we were so young, we were just trying to, I stayed in marriage because of my son, not because of me, but for my son.
Right.
And that sometimes hurt you because then you spend your life trying to live for your children when they eventually grow up and go. I was going to school to be a pediatrician. First year, I was playing Hot Pocket in the summertime and drinking that Jack Daniels, not taking my birth control. Now I got a son 30 years later. That's how that worked out. But, when your parents feel like you're shattered, especially a girl, you're not following your path or your hopes and dreams, they're disappointed. They're disappointed. And because growing from my grandmother and our great-grandmother from the South, and I'm like, wait a minute, didn't y'all have children out of wedlock? Why y'all harping on me being out of wedlock? But I was supposed to be different than the rest of my cousins. Different from my cousins. They didn't expect that. But I'm like, everybody do the shake 'em ups. No matter how good your family are or whatever, it's just how you are. But that's all I say. Like, when I say dramatic, to see the hurt on my mother and his mother face, I still look at him sometimes like, oh Lord. But me and her are cool. She live in the area where
what do you think was wrong with him?
It's still the same thing wrong with him now, according to his mother. Like I said, me and her are cool. We go to church. I don't, like I said, they didn't come from a spiritual family per se. They didn't attend church. I think he has a lot of self-esteem issues on his own. He didn't feel adequate. He was a fat boy, younger. And I like fat men, chunky men. But he just didn't feel good about himself because I always thought I was cute. You better check our baby pictures out, right, Creek? We always thought we were in the backyard, dressed up, because our parents kept us nice. Back in the day, parents dressed you up, your little party outfits, your little Buster Brown shoes, and your little bell bottoms that Creek had on. My little son
talking about the bell bottoms.
Well, that now let me break the pictures out of everybody.
Now,
but
I'm gonna say for sure he definitely had a personality disorder for sure.
Oh, he just
so that was a lot, and I've seen a situation almost identical to your situation, but it had the beginning of it was just a different twist, but the ending was pretty much like yours.
And I prayed, and it's a power prayer. I prayed that man out my life. Because I couldn't see myself. I grew to I gained 175 pounds during my marriage.
I mean, it can happen.
From being depressed, and I got asthma and stress and going through domestic violence and somebody calling you a bitch. You thought that was your name instead of saying sweet mama. That becomes a mental self-esteem me. I lost because the fly cute sweet mama, I lost that over the years of being married. Because I changed myself from being mommy, and you gotta look conservative. You can't have your boobs out, and my boobs got big as a baby, and you can't be in the club at the strip club, throwing your ones at folk. You gotta be home, you gotta be nurturing, you gotta be feminine, you gotta be, that path of being in a wife role. So I changed completely who the hell I was because I had my son. Right. That's why I do what I want to do now. My son old. I have an
But I
adult
mean, that
child.
was a good changes, and I'm sure it helped him as he was growing up. Now
Mhm.
we're going to catch up with a couple comments. You want to read, Chelsea? Well, you know what? We so far back. You probably do. You see this one right here? Bella is correct. Where Baylana said.
Yes, Bella is correct. The man is supposed to lead the woman to God as God leads his church.
Yes.
And
And
then right below it, we've got Bella. We are the church. The building is a gathering place, and you can have a church at home. Amen,
Mhm.
Bella. Alleluia, sugar. Bella again. The church buildings need to shut down and go into the streets. And that is true. And then Bayliner, oh Lord, when Sweet Mama was telling her story.
Girl, y'all better see them pictures.
Right? Bella also said, Lord have mercy. God understood what you were going through.
Mm-hmm.
What with him yelling at the preacher. Lord, he would have been divorced the next day if he didn't show up to the reception. I remember that coming in at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, right here, we've got Bella. Alleluia, you're free. Let's pray for his deliverance because what's in him was to destroy you. Thank God you were delivered out of his hands.
Thank you for the
Beautifully said.
comments.
Thank y'all.
Amen.
right now, that so a lot of times, definitely take heed of the warning signs that you see in men.
Amen.
Make sure you have a straight up man. You don't want see, a lot of women, and this is be funny. Just be funny a lot of times. They'll come on and this guy will say some stuff and they'll be like, I agree with him. I agree. You want me to tell you why? Because he has female tendencies just like you.
Ooh, shade.
A lot of times you can shake your head on it, Chelsea. Trust me.
Give context.
I'm going to tell you right now. Let me get in on this picture. Because that very one will be sitting up there talking about you just like he one of your chick friends. Or he won't do things that a man would do. Like you think you want him right now.
Such as
he's not even going to protect you like you want him to. See, it's cute when y'all can agree.
But just because you agree with your woman doesn't make you feminine and a beta. See, so many of these things that you get all that we talk about, we have to have context to, right? Everything's not just black and white. There is gray area in certain things. So
let me tell you something. I had somebody come in the store today. Oh, let me call my wife. Let me call the boss. Get out of my store.
ooh.
Y'all, trust me. Y'all need to understand.
Now,
what a
okay,
man
right?
Is. Understand.
Let's take the boss
okay?
statement. Let's take the
Go
boss
ahead.
statement out, right? Let's take the boss statement out, and that wasn't part of it, right? Because then you're giving the wife the power, whatever the hey, right?
That's what happened to betas. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Hold on though.
Go ahead.
If Dustin, even though like our money is so separate, like our money is separate, right? He makes his money, he does what he wants with it. I make money on it, I do what I want with it. I pay part, you pay part, we're good, right? All that stuff. But at the end of the day, if I'm not going to go out and make a big purchase, nor is he, without respectfully talking to each other about it. Like, and that's just respect. That's just respectful. Now, what
if
you
I
spend
want a
in your
dirt bike,
daily,
I'm going to go get my dirt bike.
So what does she want to? What does
it.
she want a dirt bike? Can she go buy a dirt bike? Free
She
without
surely
running
can,
it by you?
if it's our money.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I would never stop. But for example, Dr. D, he sent me a picture of a Harley one day. He was thinking about getting a Harley. He liked it. It was kind of cool for it. He sent it to me. He expected me to go, no, let's not. That's that. I encouraged him to get that Harley. And because he sent it and confided and spoke with me about it before doing anything, we have a Harley Davidson because he spoke to me. He wouldn't have purchased it. I encouraged and pushed to get it back because he listened rather than was like, no, my wife doesn't know anything. I'm not going to ask her about this Harley Davidson.
Pussy. Let's go. We're not
Oh,
wrestling with
I
people.
am taking that
Flesh
clip
and
out
blood.
and I'm
We are
bringing
not
it to
wrestling
Dr.
with
D.
people, flesh and blood, but demonic principalities and spiritual wickedness and influences in these people. I think that was pertaining to what you were talking about, Sweet Mama.
But sometimes too, Creep, with those big purchases, people should be able to plan. If that big purchase is going to be detrimental to the finances of the home because you purchase something, let's say it's causing, maybe we can't pay our mortgage or some other bills because you made this big purchase, that would be a problem, which would affect the woman.
That's why, okay, if the money's there, if he's making money, he can go do it. He ain't got to talk to you about nothing.
The old school way was actually, correct me if I'm not the old school way or whatever. I saw something the other day that said actually the women did a lot of the paying of the bills and doing all of that. Like the man would actually
bring the money home.
Okay, what a mistake.
Bring the money home, and she did all of that.
What a mistake. I'm joking on that one, but let me say, it depends on who's good with the money.
I agree.
You got a lot of men out here that's not good with money, and you got a whole bunch of women out here that's not good with money. That's a family decision, but actually the man should make that decision.
But back in the 1950s and 30s, where you like to reference, our grandfather, he was at work all the time.
Your internet needs a man's touch. We can't hear you. Go ahead. Repeat that.
Are you being smart or are you for real?
I'm for real.
It was going in and out, but he's being.
Oh, I was going to say, because my cousin be smart. So you don't know if he's lying or not. I'm like, wait a minute, what? So our grandfather brought money home to our grandmother to handle because bills had to be paid typically during the daytime and he worked a different shift. Same thing with your daddy. Your daddy worked shift. Your mama handled the household. Covers about 1,000 of y'all. I was trying to name everybody on y'all side. I told Mama I'd give up. I had to count from baby girl Snickers up to you on up. And she was like, wait a minute, what's that name? I'm like, I can't remember. So we counting. So back in the day, the women, because they stayed home, they took care of the bills, the babies, the food, and the man made the money and gave it to her, the paycheck, and kept it moving. Correct, Creeps?
Yes, and I agree with that. But if the woman is good, or
it wasn't matter what she could have not.
But listen.
Back in the day.
Listen. Even if she wasn't good with the money, he can at least say, hey, here's the money, put this here.
Okay, so why you not doing that with your woman nowadays in these modern times? Giving the woman your monies after you made it and let her take control of paying all the bills and take care of the household.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
So now you're not following.
Come on, man.
Back in the day, old school. You're not following that.
Hey, big sis.
So you saying that your daddy and my granddaddy and our granddaddy was betas because they gave them money?
Betas?
Let me send these shouts out and I'm gonna answer your question from top to bottom. What's up, big sis?
Master
Hey, Bird. Hey, cuz.
Hey, Leslie.
And why didn't you guys wake me up? I'm sorry, big sis. I didn't even know you were asleep. And then we have brother-in-law said because old people need their sleep. And a lot of times that's the case. Hey. Baylana says, but back in the day, women were more disciplined. Absolutely. Thank you for that good point.
The fire.
Yes, because right now a lot of women are so undisciplined, it's ridiculous. And then also Baylana say if she's a good woman in her right place, he will go buy her a dirt bike. Exactly. Amen.
Investment property.
And then you have Bella Marad say the man is the head of the house. You got a problem with that, Chelsea?
No, I don't. Actually, But my man is respectful and compassionate and sensitive to my needs and my wants, beta or not. I don't give a.
Let me say this.
Because
How about your boss? Is he respectful?
actually, I would say, yeah. I mean, he can get slightly irrational at times. Sorry, love you. But no, actually, he is. I mean, if I bring my needs and my things to him, he actually does hear me out and like will make changes for what I believe his people and his employees need. I've seen him. Bunches of us, not bunches of us, but I've watched multiple people bring things to him and us try and figure out solutions for it to meet the needs of everybody in that. I know he might be listening, but that's okay.
Who might be listening?
Yeah, thanks, Bayliner. Anyway, yeah. So I think he is extremely compassionate to our needs and our wants. And that's honestly one of the reasons I love my job and I love where I'm at, because I don't have time for people who are not going to be compassionate to who I am and the things I am, because I give that back. If I come into a workforce and somebody, I expect that back from that same person, that respect and compassion for what's going on in my life. So yeah, I don't have time for that nonsense.
So let me say this. The reason why I brought up your boss.
I know, right?
And I'm not saying per se, personally, your boss. I'm talking about Sweet Mama G's boss as well.
Mine are all women.
Poor baby.
All
So
three.
Here's what I'm saying. The reason why I'm saying that, y'all have no problem doing this extra stuff for your bosses, but then not doing it at home for your head.
But that's the thing, though. You're stereotyping, because at the same thing, if you turn around and have a conversation with Dr. D and ask if his needs are met, and they are. So it's individual. It's individual per that person. So that's
I'm gonna
what
ask
it
him,
is.
but not in front of you.
No, I dare you. Go in a private room where I'm miles away and have a conversation with him. And I am confident in his words. Why? Because we communicate daily on how each person is, how we're feeling physically, how we're feeling mentally every single day. Beta versus alpha. I don't care. But my man is happy and I'm happy, and I have an extremely good relationship with even 3 years, or I mean, however long we've been together. We married 3 together, like 6 or 7, but still all of that time. And it's been progressive. And you want to know why? Because he's sensitive and he's compassionate. Now, is he a man? Absolutely. He steps up to the plate. He, as you would say, checks the women because they need to be checked, whatever you want to call it. But these little things that you take and stereotype that person, like long hair as a beta, to me, just, I think, make me laugh and just round me up, man. Go ahead.
Okay. So what if I told you I already talked to him? And you know what he said? He
Cool.
said, bruh,
go for it.
save me.
You're
No,
full
I'm
of-
not with you.
I know.
So
Yeah.
Big just say, cousin Chelsea, Bird is being messy again.
We
Yes,
know.
I'm
Yeah.
messy.
Help
I'm
us.
messy. I'm messy. So Baylana said he might be listening, Chelsea. And then
I know, she made my stomach drop when she said that. Go ahead.
laugh
Sorry.
out loud, laugh out loud. Sweet mama, those faces are priceless.
Mhm.
Yes, you're always making priceless faces. So all I'm just saying is that what you do at work, you make sure you do for your husband.
I don't disagree. I put more effort into my relationship than I put into my work.
Thank you.
More.
Thank you.
Seriously.
I mean, you
I
know,
do.
but me personally, I know your work, and y'all have good peoples. You see
We
what I'm
do.
saying?
We really do. I'm
I'ma
so
say that,
blessed
very
for the
good
team.
peoples. So now,
But you have
when
to
I
put
mentioned-
that much energy into yourself, though, too. Like,
You gotta say that.
you have to be a man, because you may see that as weak. You may see that as this. You may see that as this. But you want to know what? Women out there are craving more love than they are respect. And a lot of women receive love in a way that is foreign to men. Some men don't communicate their love very well. Some men don't can't use words very well. All of these things that y'all perceive to be vulnerable and beta and this feminine is actually, I'm not saying overly. There's always something that's going to be overly feminine or overly this. There's always going to be both spectrums and both sides. But a little bit of softness is going to go so far in helping your woman feel comforted and loved. And I'm not saying you need to cry on the couch with her while you watch a puppy
She's not supposed to be comfortable. See, that's what y'all problem is. Y'all got it wrong.
Lord, you need to wrap it up.
You need to keep competing for your position. That's what you need. What? When you get comfortable, that's when y'all start acting a fool.
Chelsea, you acting a fool now.
And let me say this. My other thing is
because you acting fool with cousin Melvin, Snickerdoodle, brother Tony says Snickles. You better compete for the snickering.
Baylon said, can we get the likes up tonight? We want to keep coming back. Yes, please. And we have Bella Mirage says, and if that man don't have God in him, he won't be able to do those things.
Thank you.
No, I agree. I agree.
That is
but this is one thing I'm gonna say. So I did a training today on it's called ethical and professional, but we were talking about people don't know how to approach individuals professionally or personally. So we talked about personal and professional relationships. I told people I'm a boundary type person. People are only going to treat you the way you allow them to treat you.
Correct.
If you don't align people or how you want to be heard, felt, desired, nurtured, and growth, then they're going to treat you like a non-MF factor. I am an individual where I have value in my workplace because I'm a person. When I have my job, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. In my relationships, I'm going to be the friend that show up. I may not want to talk to you every day because I'm busy, but I'm going to be that friend to show up. But I'm a boundary. You can't say certain things to me in personal relationship that's going to hurt my feelings. I can take being checked because I done took some check-ins lately. I can take being checked and I think about it. It might make me impulsively mad at that particular moment, but then I don't say anything because I have been an impulsive person to say stuff too quick and had broken relationships versus me sitting back and maybe thinking about it. That's the same as if I'm at work. Somebody say something to me and I need to do an email or they send an email. Instead of me responding, I have to get my mind right to remember this is a professional relationship. I need to always be a professional because nobody should want to ever see you sweat. You always should be better than you were the day before. It's the same for my personal relationships. I want to be a better friend every day, a better family member, a better daughter, and whatever every day. That means showing up. That means thinking about people. I'm old fashioned. I still send cards out. I mail supplies to people, children. They ain't even my kids. I just sent something to my kids who just started going to school versus going to virtual school. They went to those, regular school now. Just little things that make people that, I'll surprise them with a card. Just little things. You gotta do that. Even you have to do that for your mate. It's not always because it's Valentine, it's their birthday, it's Father's Day. You gotta do things that's special to touch their heart, but you also gotta be respectful in a manner how you are creating that relationship. If you have a sloppy ass relationship, it's gonna be messy. If you have one of respect, nurturing, and growth, because each other should grow from one another. Although the man is the lead, he should be able to grow with me just like I'm growing. He got to compete too, because all this is fine. Miss Chelsea is fine. They got to compete for us too. So don't think it's one way. But you got to have that spirit and that energy to keep it a positive relationship. And I wouldn't have known that. The sweet mama from 25 married is different from sweet mama that's almost a half a century behind her cousin, 3 months. So it's a difference. I'm not the same person I would have been now because I know my path is a little bit different now that I'm older.
Yeah, I agree. That's
Yeah,
cool.
because I mean, they shoot machine guns now. When you came up, they were shooting muskets.
Oh no, you was popping the little pebbles, the little stones.
Baylana said, "S, I'm not competing for my position. I do my job and I do it well. If somebody else gets his attention, she can have him."
All right, baby.
Bye, Felicia.
That sounds pretty typical. I'm joking. Baylana said,
Bayliner.
"Chelsea, do you have boundaries?
She
I
done
mean-
calling me out.
How about I quit Mondays?"
What does that
Yeah.
mean?
I'll let you know what that means since Bayliner wants to go ahead and bring that on up in the conversation. She done calling me out on my boundaries. Yeah. So I quit Mondays have become a thing where Mondays are a very heightened emotional time for certain people. And I tend to come into those moments. And for some reason, for like 4 weeks, it became to where I named it I Quit Monday because lovely Bayliner done popped off on me a few times and got a little mouthy, and I shoot so much. It wasn't in my control. I mean, I couldn't really do anything.
You talking about on the show or personally?
No, personally, she brought this in personally. Yeah, no, so she done got a little mouthy with me, so she's calling me out of my boundaries. But I'll let y'all know a little bit about something about Chelsea. I don't like confrontation, so I'm gonna I shut down. I don't go into fight. I go into flight. I freeze and I flight. So for most when I'm confronted with certain things, for the most part, because I had a tendency because of my upbringing to pop at the mouth and regret what I would say because I didn't know how to take that moment for myself. I shut down so that I can process and then I come back to the situation. So when I come into I Quit Mondays, you will shut me down very quickly and then you ain't getting a whole lot out of Miss Chelsea over here. So I finally started naming him I Quit Monday and I told her I can't do no more damn I Quit Mondays. You got a problem.
I just want to work Tuesdays and Thursdays. I thought we was quitting our jobs on Mondays and Fridays.
Exactly. But it's about boundaries. And I think we both learned boundaries. But go ahead. What do we got here? Bella. If that person.
You want to read Bella Mirage's If That Person?
If that person don't have love embedded within them, again, then we become slave masters trying to train people on how to treat each other, which is out of order. It is out of order, Bella, but they just don't have it. A lot of people have that, and then they're not trying to self-improve to get to the knowledge. But again, if you don't help people understand who you are, they don't know how to treat you.
Very true, but you got to also look at their background, their upbringing.
That's what I'm saying. Right. Their background could warrant that they didn't have any of that. So,
right.
If you want to be with that person, you may have to do something, to help it along. You're not supposed to, but people backgrounds are horrible. And I'm even looking at the kids that's growing up now. They don't have a lot of
Can you imagine the generation that's coming up?
Throw a whole generation away.
Musically, relationship-wise,
education,
communication, period.
I'm sick of the McDonald's eating the little teeth is right. It's just a lot of stuff. The nurturing that we had as 50, maybe 40 plus and 50s, the kids are not getting in. It's few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
I see old great grandmother picking up kids from school. I'm like, you the great grandmother? What the hell? Where the grandmama at? Your grandmama 40.
Yeah, it's rough, and you do see that these days. Chelsea, you want to read Bella Mirage?
Yeah, Bella. If they love you truly in the beginning, they would.
Yeah, very true. So this was definitely a good topic. We shouting out Chelsea on this one, and I just had to try to wound her up a little bit.
You like to spool me up.
Yeah. Bella Mirage also say it's time to preach. Come on in here, Holy Ghost.
We need it.
I'm always
So-
down. We need it.
You know,
Going into that creedology and rewrite that dang book.
yes, the Creedology book
Yes.
is
Yeah.
coming. It'll be on
No, I don't want
Amazon
it.
and all the outlets.
She said she don't want it.
I don't want
Okay,
it.
Sorry. You
Shoot,
you
well, I had
wanna
to take a
get-
2-week break.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
okay.
messing with you. I'm just
No, that's
messing.
okay. That's what it had. That's what it takes to keep up with the Creedology movement. You know, it takes patience.
Movement.
It takes toughness.
Some of us, we
It's
need a
not a
break
movement,
sometime to
literally
regroup
one-
your mind.
That's exactly what it was.
But anyone else have any suggestions on this or any questions?
Well, it said bring religion back into marriages. I think people just need to bring spirituality into themselves, not even the marriage
Amen.
part. Because
Yep.
everybody on here is not married, and I mean everybody on here have been married at some point in time in their life.
Right.
But
I agree.
I think people need to work and grow on themselves before they worry about bringing it into, relationship, because you're supposed to come whole with
Mhm.
your 8 dimensions of
Yes.
wellness, your financial, your environment, your spiritual, your mental, your physical. You're supposed to bring all that to the table before you even think about it. If you're lacking in those areas, you need to create yourself a wellness recovery action plan.
Mhm.
And that's to recover your senses that you don't have before you bring it to a relationship. Everybody want to jump, but they don't want to evolve, develop, and then flourish. Especially as you get older. None of us on here is young folk. So we need to think about the 8 dimensions of wellness, look it up, see what they are. And if you're lacking an area, make sure you go through, get yourself together. And it's okay to take a break. I've taken breaks and I've got more stuff done being single than I did in a relationship because I don't have the distraction or have to do the work or be bothered. The work is being done on me. So when I am ready, I can get out here and rock and roll and don't have all this other stuff that's hindering me from doing my duties.
So, cuz
I was waiting for the button to be pressed, Chelsea. I said duties.
I know. Why do you think I haven't spoke? I was waiting.
Here's the thing, cousin.
You won't.
What you want?
Being as though you're half 100, you talking about getting married and stuff. Still, what's going? I mean, what?
Who said that?
What? You just said that you trying to get yourself together because you was being held up and all this old stuff because of marriage, right? You
No,
are
I
half
said that.
100 right now.
No,
What,
you have
what
to.
kind of man? You just tell me what kind of man you gonna be looking for.
Ear blue.
I just said that, did I, Chelsea? I ain't said nothing about being married.
I'm asking you right now. I ain't say you said it. You
Oh.
did say that when you was married that you would basically it was a burden.
I said no. See, Chelsea, I meant to listen.
No. You
did
done
not
tried
say-
to put all that.
So you mean to tell me you didn't just say that
No,
you
I
didn't
did
have
not.
any distractions and all that?
I said right now I'm not getting in a
Distraction.
relationship because I'm working on things and I don't want a distraction right now.
I get it. And if you go back
Correct.
to what I was just saying about marriage, and then I said you're half 100 right now. So once you get finished all your stuff, you might be a half 100 plus 5. What kind of man are you gonna be looking for? Or you think you're gonna get?
Well, first of all,
That's a different
you don't know what I'm evolving to. I might just want to be on a new beach and just chilling in the cut and just dating. I never said I wanted to be married again. If I decide to get married or I meet somebody, okay, well and good, but that's not on my wellness action plan that I have to be married. I've done that. I got that t-shirt.
Bruh.
Where are our t-shirts?
Ooh, I didn't mean to bring it up.
No,
Look at his face.
I'll make sure you have yours too, Chelsea.
Pound.
So
I haven't even been considered. Look, I
Had to wear my own
okay.
Chelsea Day too. Had to wear my own. See,
okay.
Jesus
All right.
changes everything.
So,
It does.
I mean, no,
Go ahead.
cuz don't try to duck it out.
Oh
What
no, I
kind of
mean I'm
man-
not saying that I'm socially closed off, and I do, got my eye on a couple folk, but they prove. So I'm more in the therapy mode right now, just listening to them with the shenanigans. I'm not jumping because I don't have to jump. I'm not in the horny toad stage. I'm not. I need a man and Valentine's, my birthday coming because I know how to book me a trip to Jamaica. But I listen more. If I want to get with somebody to do the shake 'em ups, then that's whatever. But the type of men I'm meeting, baby, I'm probably gonna be single.
Bruh.
I'm gonna get me a Sour Patch Kid that wheel me in my little wheelchair and keep it moving because these joker boogers that's a half 100 like you, which will be next Wednesday, is Crete's birthday. He'll be a half 100. See, I'm not the half yet. So it's not a lot of good pickings out here. I got my own few, but not necessarily for a relationship.
Oh my goodness.
So if it ain't for a relationship, what is it gonna be?
I said for the shake 'em ups.
Come on now,
Bruh.
get it together. Selective hearing.
The shake 'em ups. I'm trying to be nice.
All right.
Because that's once you become a mature woman and you have other things in perspective, you have aging parents, you have work, you have other things you want to do. That's not always a priority. I'm not in the childbirthing stage, no, ma'am. So that's good for women to chase them like that they still want to have kids, or you looking for the wedding that's the baby shower that's better than the wedding. That's not me right now. That may never be me. I'm comfortable with what I do, and that's none of y'all business because you're being nosy.
He can't stand it, sweet mama. He always up in it, like always. Like
Trying to be nosy.
See,
If you only knew the DMs be popping.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do, cousin. They be look. I'm sure they be popping. But when you get half 100 plus 5,
you don't have to have somebody though. If
okay.
you don't want it,
Wait till when she needs something from the store. When COVID came, she's gonna need somebody to help her go get some stuff. She ain't gonna want to leave that slide.
COVID, I did. I had Amazon, Instacart, Walmart. Guess what, baby cakes? Cousin, I worked during a pandemic. I didn't work from home. I was in that dumbass office. I didn't have a job where I could be home. I did telehealth from my office because I was one of the type of person that I am. I mean, I could flex and come home, but during COVID, I worked. I've been wearing that dumbass mask for 4 years. Remember, I work in healthcare service. I got to wear the dumbass mask for 4 years while my face breaking out.
Okay, cuzzy, you was 48 or 47. I said when you become half 100 plus 5, what you gonna do?
Get out of here for real. I'm saying get out of here for real. I'm saying get out of here.
I got Amazon business deliverers, and they sell the good toys that don't talk. And now they got USB cords. I don't even need batteries. As long as I pay my light bill. Smart ass.
But off of that, do you not believe that like there's other support systems I'm sure Sweet Mama has created for herself to where she doesn't have to be completely reliant on that man? If it doesn't, she's done did it. If she wants to go and have that, no. You get your time. She gets her time. I get my time. Okay. If she wants to go have that shake 'em up time and that's what's going to be happy for her, who are we to sit here and any kind of thing versus what she wants to do? If she wants to be 55 and a half or whatever however you're saying it, and she's still happy on her own doing it, then damn, why do you think she worked? I'm sure she can call in or get her 401k or something. And she can hire someone to take care of her and caregive when she gets old. Like, come on.
That's why you get that long-term kid plan.
Thank
because
you.
a lot of Social Security probably won't be here.
You don't know what
I don't doubt that.
I don't doubt that, but you don't know what else we got. This conversation keep us start making me some monies.
And your
all
little
these
toys,
gorgeous people on here. Make me some
and
money
your
off this
toys
show.
ain't nothing like a man. Okay?
It's not. So you don't know what appointments I had booked. Mind your business. See, you're in my coach pocket business. I'm not asking you who's sliding on your slung or who you driving up the wall. We going into my business again. Just because I ain't claiming nobody don't mean they ain't out here in the world.
I'll tell you what, we will have this conversation when you have 100 plus 5 and watch it be different.
Got him! Got him!
But at the same time, I'm not like, oh my God, I need a man, so I'm gonna take him with the raggedy tooth. Oh my God, I need that man. He got these little kids, and they're gonna be in my house, and I know I like to walk around naked. No,
Correct.
I can be
Correct.
selective.
Correct. Amen.
You don't think I
Said
can
it
be
beautifully.
selective? I've earned the right to be selective. I ain't put
I
every
agree.
James jackass up in my house for what? No, I don't like people in my house, first of all. But I'm not dating every James jackass for what? I could be selective.
Poor
Back in
women.
the day when I was trying to have kids and I ain't got
Poor
listen.
women.
I could be selective. So you want me to have some raggedy ass jackal here that you're gonna have to come handle if something go wrong? No. Burn. I got my own thing. Burn. Nope.
All right,
Got you.
all
And
right.
it's you don't know. I mean, people
Everyone loves
hang out.
companionship,
I hang out with
but-
people because I'm single. I'm not in a relationship. I hang with folk. I'm cool. No, I didn't go to the CIAA. Everybody thought I was going back home. No, I ain't doing all that. I got other stuff going on, prioritize about my profession because I have parents to take care of. I got my life to take care of. I don't want to say, Creetology, can I have some monies? You build your own. So when I'm ready to go on vacation for my birthday, I do what I want to do. Me and Miss
Poor
Bella
women.
going to hedonism. Me and Miss Bella Mirage, we're going to Jamaica's to hedonism. Number 2.
Poor women.
You're right. Poor women because they
gotta
have to
deal
deal
with
with the
the
Creetology freaking mentality. Poor women.
So let me ask you this, Chelsea.
Uh-oh.
Oh man, I thought we were ending. Go ahead.
Just that part. So let's say if you didn't have Dustin, I'm sorry,
I'd be miserable.
Dr. D, you'll be miserable.
Oh, bless your heart.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Are you under 40,
Yeah.
Chelsea?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, girl. I'm
And
in
so-
menopause. I
so-
could care less.
See,
I'm in menopause. I care less, girl.
oh,
No,
I tell you.
and listen,
Oh,
listen,
bless
there
your
is
heart.
something on at the end of the day. Here's the thing: we are human creatures, right? We're pack
Mhm.
animals. We have to and thrive on other human connection. So a lot of the misperception, I believe, and we joke around about this and the Creetology and all of that, but if a good man, and correct me please if I'm wrong, if a good man that was worth Sweet Mama's time, investment, and all of these, I don't doubt, like she said, I don't doubt she's going to do however she wants to do and do all of that with that man. But she has every right to be selective in her choice. But I don't doubt that at some point there's some kind of love in that companion, but you can get love in from certain other places. But to answer your question, it really wasn't a question, but I am connected and am blessed to have found my human, right? Just because everybody is at different stages in their life doesn't mean that they won't find their human. There's not one out there. So without Dustin, yes, I would not be as I don't want to say complete because that goes against what I believe, but it accentuates my life. But I waited. I took the time to take care of me. I learned how to express my needs and my wants. I learned how to be more calm when I'm highly emotioned, when I'm trying to communicate things to my husband so I don't put him into defense. So yeah, I took a lot of time for me so that I could help my husband meet my needs. I don't expect him to be a beta, as you call it, but I do expect him to go and have the ebb and the flow with me. So of course, I am so grateful that I have somebody to help take care of me, to help keep me up, make me feel safe and comfortable. But not everybody is as blessed as I am. And
Amen.
And that's good.
you know,
That's
You know,
good.
Chelsea, I mess with you a lot.
I
And,
know.
and you know, I just try to wound you up, and I wound
I
up
know.
my cousin. Now my sister talking about I need a handmaid.
Yeah, he need a handmade child. Anybody
You know what? That's your perfect. They're a perfect woman. I never thought of it like that.
Wrote a song about it, like the here go.
There you go.
that you get your passport, be one of them passport bros, and go get you one from another area.
What you know
Yeah,
about
just
them
order
passport bro
them.
cousins?
Order them.
order. Mail. They used to call mail order brides.
Mail
You
order
got to
bride.
marry. Just bring on over. She ain't got to speak no English. I'm gonna speak the Spanish too. We're gonna talk about you and keep it moving.
So here's my thing. Thank you for showing me that you're human, Chelsea.
Oh yeah, I'm me. I'm
Because
vulnerable. I'm sure.
I hate when sometimes some women just start cutting up like, and I ain't talking about you, cousin, because I know that if the right man came by, that you
Yeah.
would, you'll change your tone, and then when I meet him,
Change
I
your
have a
tone.
I ain't letting
recording,
him meet you.
and I
Go
say, look at her.
No,
look
he
at her.
will love her tone.
Nah, I would say, look at her. Look at what she's saying. Listen,
But I don't
listen
act
what
like
she's
this.
saying.
I don't act like this in relationship. That's my cousin make me have to turn
I know, right?
evil.
So,
Sorry,
trust
go ahead,
me,
Creek.
me putting this together for y'all will make y'all better women. Learn
So
to
it's you the
control
conduit
yourself.
of us being better women. What happening?
Huh? Y'all will be,
Because I'm
y'all
on the show, we're
controlling
gonna be better
Now
yourself.
women.
you asking
Hmm?
for it.
You reaching.
Now you asking for it.
So you done
For
made us
real.
better women.
Thank you, Creek,
Amen.
so much for this opportunity to grow as a woman,
Amen.
all because of your guidance.
Calm down, baby. Calm down.
So
What's
anyway,
wrong with him?
So to my point,
Crazy, man.
y'all know I appreciate y'all, and
I know.
good
It's always a
show.
good time.
And you know, I'll be half 100. My new chapter of 50 starts on
Yee.
Wednesday.
Chew.
You happy? You
Your
excited?
birthday
What
Thursday. You don't even know when your birthday is. Poor
Oh,
thing.
well, Thursday, my bad.
Poor thing.
Because
You don't even know when his birthday is.
I don't celebrate birthdays. I don't pay attention to it. Half of the time, and this is no lie, and I'm not saying this because she's on here. It'll either be my sister Leslie, or my sister Janine, or Angie.
You got 25 sisters. So Lord, you trying to remember them all.
that would call me and tell me or mess with me about my age, because I done forgot. I don't pay birthdays and none of that no attention. Simply 10 Art said, y'all finally wrapping up? Yes, my eyes is burning.
Mine
Okay.
too.
So, since we're going to wrap up, we invite you all on next Wednesday to come to Street Tactics Radio on YouTube for the Dr. Creek 50th year revolution around the sun. Amen. He will be 50 on next
Amen.
Thursday, but we will be celebrating on the Brutally Honest Rap Show. We have our DJs and our hosts who will have special music tributes for our executive producer, Concrete. So make sure you come in on next Wednesday, March the 1st at what time, Creek? Because you know the time be.
9 o'clock.
Ooh,
Or
9 o'clock.
You want to do 9:30?
No, sir. Certain
All right,
people
9
got to go to
o'clock.
work. Certain people got to go to work.
Oh, okay.
So 9 o'clock ish on. Look for the notification bell to come on. Make sure you come on time. We're gonna get started. We're gonna start setting up. We need a whole hour to set up, so we're on time for 9 o'clock. But come in for the celebration for DJ Concrete 50 years of evolution around the sun. So we have some special music. We had some surprises he don't know about. Sweet Mama be in the background doing some things.
Well, I'll tell you, my
So
cousin
get ready.
playing.
Hey, you don't even know what's going down in the Ville. So
Oh,
a couple
my word.
surprises, couple mix up. We definitely want you all to come on next Wednesday, March the 1st, 2023, 9 p.m. to celebrate DJ Concrete's 50 years. So make sure you like, click, subscribe, and share so everybody around the world can party with him.
Thank y'all, everybody.
Feng Shui.
We're gonna try to have some fun. We're gonna play like a little bit of 90s, and we'll switch it up, some stuff like that, some R&B for the ladies.
I'm excited.
Okay. Shout outs to my brother-in-law for coming through. Shouts out to my big sis Leslie. Shout out to Bayliner. Shout out to Bella Mirage. Shout out to Simply 10 Art. Shout out to, make sure we don't miss anybody, y'all, that was in the comments. Me D. Shout out to
I'm trying to go all the way back. We had somebody come in.
like
Who's
that.
it?
Oh.
We was trying to get y'all.
I thought it was somebody else that came in. But anyway, good night, everybody. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your week. Until next Wednesday on Street Tactics Radio YouTube. Good night.
Good night,
night.
y'all. Let me see who
Clear
this.
fingers.
Amber BB. Good night, everyone.
Oh, that's
Amber
baby
BB.
sister.
Hey, Snickles. Don't get your snickering. Good night, Snickles. We heard
she
your name.
always coming at the end. Simply $10 said that just his story. That's old. I'm tripping.
Oh, way old.
Nice Snickers, Amber Snickles. See you
Hey,
later.
Ning. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you,
Another
Mr.
fun
Chelsea.
night. We will see y'all on Wednesday.
Thank
9
y'all. Love
o'clock.
pizza and grease.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm out. I'm clicking
All
the
right,
X
y'all.
right now.